Hello and welcome back to our lecture again. Today we're looking at how to problematize a research idea. I know it's been going well with you, and we're happy to give you another lecture today. How to problematize a research idea. Let me give you some background information. So every research or academic writing emanates from a perceived problem. It's something that agitates your mind and you are curious to know more about or provide some perspectives about understanding or solving the problem. Of course, this idea is something that of much interest to you and also should be of interest to your academic community or your discipline. You know, any research idea does not emanate from a problem, cannot stand the test of time. Because the problem that drives research, that curiosity, there's a problem, and you are curious to know, how to understand the problem. Then let me also say here that having a topic, a research topic, does not translate to having a research problem. Many times you are in a meeting where proposals are being presented by graduate students. They present, a beautiful proposal, but you ask them, what is the problem of this research? They don't know what to say. So, and that's why I'm doing this video to tell you how to problematize a research idea. So what does it mean to problematize a research idea? It's simply teasing out what constitutes a problem in this research you are doing. Why is it a problem or how is it a problem? It needs to be known, you know. And so here, I have some approaches I will share with you, but then let me just discuss a bit about problems, research problems. So we have the conceptual and the practical problems, based on the two distinctions in research, pure, research and applied research. Practical problems about what should we do. It presupposes that there's a condition there that is not right and need to be fixed. And so we solve practical problems by encouraging people to do something about it. And then there is the other one, the conceptual problem, which is what we deal with in academic research. In other words, what should we think about this problem? It's a conceptual problem arises when we do not understand something as we ought to in preferring, answers and solutions. According to Booth et al. In 2016, it says, we solve a conceptual problem not by doing or encouraging people to do something, but by answering questions that help us understand the problem better. You know. So what you need to know here is this. Much of academic research is about, conceptual problems, and not really the practical problems. Having said that, let's look at some approaches to problematizing your research idea. Beautiful research idea that you have. How do you make it a problem? If you are asked at proposal defense or you're writing a grant and they ask you during the interview, what is the problem with your research? What constitutes the problem? I was asked some years ago, I was confused. So I'm happy to share with you how I dealt with that. So I have 4 points here which I want to share with you. How to problematize an idea. The first one is this: any issue or problem or phenomenon that you are investigating that is understudied or underdocumented, it can constitute a problem. We don't know this something. We need to know about this. So there's a problem because we don't know. Then point number two, it could be a problem that is wrongly understood and requires new perspectives. In other words, there could be some erroneous ideas about something that needs to be corrected or challenged. That becomes a problem. So the point number three is this: any knowledge that is outdated is a problem. If somebody has done a research, written a book, and now the knowledge is outdated because new findings have overtaken, there are new realities. So that's also a problem. So the knowledge needs to be challenged because the knowledge is no longer valid. So that can make it a problem. And finally, a knowledge based on inappropriate research methodology. Sometimes we do research, we just publish, only to find out the methodology we use is faulty. And somebody says, oh, this is faulty. You should have used this kind of methodology and this and this and that. Maybe you use qualitative. Oh, you will have added a bit of quantitative. You have used a mixed method. You will have used a phenomenological approach and this and that and that. Let me tell you a story. I was in a conference in the US, and there's this book on African music. I'm a professor of music, so uh, 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 I talk about music a lot. There's this book on music which I've read and I love so much. And this other professor came to present a paper and said what the man wrote in that book is wrong because he didn't do interviews with the person that he was writing about. And before we say Jack, he just clicked the button and he was playing the interview he conducted with the musician in his home country. And so what he was saying there is that the methodology he used, how he arrived at the conclusion, was faulty. And so he or she did the right thing by interviewing and therefore got a more valid, findings, or the knowledge was, more concrete than the one that was published in the book. So that's an example of how inappropriate methodology can affect the knowledge that we create. So you might want to do a study, using new methodologies, to approach an issue which has been dealt with before but not adequately dealt with. So when you have been able to problematize your research, that helps you greatly in formulating the statement of the problem. Because that's also a problem. How students, younger colleagues formulate statement of the problem. When you're able to problematize this way, you are able to, state the problem succinctly. And maybe I should do a video on writing a problem statement. So these are my ideas. I hope you find them useful. As usual, please share this video with your colleagues, with your friends, with your students, and keep on, sending me your comments. If you want me to do a workshop for you on research and academic writing, please feel free to invite me. If you want me to intervene in your thesis or to offer some professional advice, well, I'll be willing to. So my email is in the description below. Okay, thank you very much and see you in another lecture.